Happy Monday. I did a live check-in last Monday morning and it seemed to be really helpful to people. So I'm going to do one again today and I'll do one for the next couple of weeks if they're helpful. We'll see how we go. So welcome everyone as you come in. Good morning. Hello, wherever you are. Let me know how you are. If you haven't been here before, this space, these check-ins are for folks who do not intend to live as outcasts in any way, shape or means, do not intend to fight the old to accept us because the old is toxic and we want no part of it, and are totally geared to creating the new. So if that's you, or if you think, I want me a bit of that, welcome. I want to talk to you. So last Monday I had some really clear things to share. This week they're not quite so clear. So any questions, pop them in. Any comments, pop them in. I'm going to have a look at them in a minute. But I want to start with this. Here's how I see most people swinging, either in one of these two camps or swinging between the two. So either in the, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this shit. I don't want any of this anymore. I'm on a scale of somewhere of like, I'm out of here to like, I just have no idea what to do. Some people fall into that camp they're in there all the time. Might be you. Some people fall into the camp of, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And some of you might swing between the two. I want to talk to this group first. The group of like, oh my God, I can't do it anymore. It's so much. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm not making light of that feeling. Please no, I'm not making light of that feeling. If you're in that group, or when you're in that feeling, oh, I've had enough of this shit and I don't want any of this anymore, I want to ask you, how discerning are you with what comes into your home, your mind, your body, the whole thing? How discerning are you? And are you actually going out and looking for things that piss you off? Are you pressing play on the video that you already know from the title what it's going to say? You already know you disagree with it. Are you going to people's accounts where you know the comments on their posts are going to make you feel hopeless? Are you seeking stuff out that is going to make you feel worst case scenario, this is terrible, it is hopeless, oh my God, everyone's going to get the thing, whatever, right? Zombie apocalypse. Because you have to take more responsibility before you assume that it is the environment that is totally overwhelming you, that it is the world right now that is totally overwhelming you. You've got to look at your own responsibility with where you hang out, who you hang out with, and what you take into your space. Are you still watching mainstream media? Are you still watching the news when you know exactly what it's going to make you feel like? What for? What for? Okay. Start to think like, okay, if everything I consumed, if a child was placed in my care, and everything I consumed, that child consumed, would I be happy to put a child in my care? And I reckon if you're in that camp, a lot of you would probably say, well, no. So have a look at that. Then there's this group going, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And here's what I want to say to you. You're acting like you're the 4-year-old in the back of the car on a trip from Melbourne to Queensland. And here's how you think life is going to go. You're going to sit in the back of the car. You're going to watch your DVDs. You're going to call out for snacks. You're going to go, I need the toilet. Okay, occasionally you're going to have a cry. Sometimes you're going to have a sleep. And sometimes you're going to have a fight with the person next to you and you want to punch them in the head. And you think that is going to get you to there where we're going. Okay. Take the seatbelt off, get out the back of the car, hop into the driver's seat. Because I have groundbreaking news for you. You're the driver. You're not the 4-year-old sitting in the back of the car. you're the driver. So when you say, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we in 5D yet? Is the shit over yet? Have we won yet? All the stuff you might be asking in whatever language you use. Are we there yet? You're the driver. We're creating the there. It gets created through us, right? Which is why I've been talking a lot about education. There are a ton of teachers that are not going to be in the old system anymore for whatever reason. They want to help create the new. There are a ton of parents that are feeling hopeless and confused and lost about what happens now with my kid. Let's bring the two together. Together you will create the new. This week, I'm going to do a call out more about health. I'm getting really, totally, of course, alarming stories from parents saying, my kid had a fever, the GP wouldn't see it. My kid had a fever, even the hospital was funny about them not having a negative, what's your test. There are a ton of nurses, doctors, ambos, all sorts of people who do not intend to get who are going to help build the new. There are a ton who may have gotten it who will build the new as well. But the first group are going to be looking for a new job really soon. So I know there'll be a bridging period. I know there'll be an uncomfortable free fall, right? We've jumped out of the plane. We've said, I'm not getting that, so I'm not going to be part of the old. You've jumped out of the plane, and that time before the chute opens, there's that unknown. There's that, are we going to be all right? Yes, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. We're not going to create our own stuff like some outcast kind of whatever. We're going to create the new because that is the way this place was always meant to be. Our healthcare is not meant to be run by you know who runs it. It is not meant to be a multi-billion-dollar industry, right? Education is not meant to be a place where you put your children to have them indoctrinated and manipulated and whatever, right? The new, what we're creating, the new world that we're creating is exciting. It's about unity. It's about sovereignty. It's about being in our power. It's a healthier, more connected way to live. We're not moving to that because we're the outcasts and dregs of society. We're moving to that because we've been called at this time to create that. Remember I said last time, we're going to move to that plot of land next to the people that are still in that cult thinking. We're going to create the new. And we're going to make it look so appealing that people will look at it and go, I want a bit of that. Not we're going to sit there all hopeless and all, oh my God, what am I going to do? And have people look at us like we are the outcasts. All right, how are folks? How are you? Do you fall between that? Do you swing between, oh my God, everything's terrible. I can't do this anymore. And are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? If you're in the Are We There Yet crew, is it groundbreaking news to you that you're actually the driver? That you're actually part of the building crew? So people have different roles at this time, right? It is groundbreaking to you? Okay, well, now you know. People fall into different groups at this time. There are the cleanup crew. The cleanup crew will be people who go in and say, you know what, this is totally messed up. I'm going to help restructure this, right? They're the people who are currently questioning laws, things like that. Then there are people like me who go, okay, I know I'm not part of the cleanup crew. I know I'm already part of the new, which is why life has been so difficult for me up until actually when all of this started. Because life was difficult for me when we were pretending the toxic was normal. Now that we're actually calling it out, I'm like, okay, great, let's get going. So if you feel, whatever you feel called to, trust that we're all going to have different roles to play in this. But if you are spending all of your time searching things out that trigger you, searching things out that overwhelm you. I'm not talking about educating yourself, but take an honest stock right now. How much do you read stuff that you already know that fucks you off? So 9 a.m. could be kids. We'll be kids. You know, just don't be here if swearing offends you. How much do you seek out stuff that makes you angry? How much do you seek out stuff that makes you feel disempowered? How many times can you read about fucking spike protein? How many times can you read the same shit and think you're going to get a different reaction? At this point in time, you know what you know. You need know no more. Put a full stop, and go, okay, what am I going to now build? What am I going to now create? Where are my choices, right? It is so easy to feel like we're in our power when choices are just there. They're just there, and it's like, do I want this or do I want this? Oh, you know, it's at the time when it looks like you have no choice, but you still choose within that you know that you're really in your power and it's time to do that. So where are your choices? My choices are what I seek out. My choices are what I put in my body. My choices are what I put in my mind. My choices are what I have come into my home, what I watch, what I listen to, how I speak, who I hang out with. My choices are how I feel about stuff, how I process stuff, whether I allow myself to sit in the back of the car and call out for snacks and wait for someone to come and save me, or whether I go, okay, yeah, I actually am the driver and I actually get to drive this in my own way. Okay? Any questions? I'm going to see what else I wrote down for me. I told you today was not going to be as succinct as last time because it was more just sort of words I wanted to speak on. Discernment. Discernment is really the thing. Discernment. What are you seeking out? What do you see? Because, okay, let's think about how full of shit we all are. Because let's call it, right? Let's call it. Let's call each other, let's call ourselves out on how full of shit we all are. Because we all are. Some of us will say, I will fight to the death for my right to choose what I put into my body. Yeah, great. Back you 100% on that. But what else are you putting into your lives energetically? What are you choosing? Okay, what kind of choices are you making that are just as bad for you? And what I also wanted to say was, in this world that you might currently be feeling like, oh my God, we've got no choices, right? People are saying to me, am I allowed to take my children out of school? Okay, if you're asking, if you're allowed that kind of decision in your own child's life, then that shows you how controlled we always have been, okay? But it looked like we had choices. It was made to look like we had choices. And we've been so brainwashed into what life is about that we thought getting to choose whether I shop at Myer or David Jones or whether I buy something online or actually drive to Westfield, wow, look how free I am. Or, you know, what kind of car do I buy? Look how free I am. You know, I'm so free. I get to indebt myself to the bank for the next, 40 years with a mortgage. None of this was freedom. None of this was freedom. They're just upping it now to a level where it's a little bit more uncomfortable. Okay. And so suddenly you feel like you've lost your freedom. You never had it. You never had it anywhere outside of yourself. And that's the only place you never worked on having it. Because you were so busy wanting the freedom to go on an overseas holiday once a year, wanting the freedom to have a caravan permanently at whatever caravan park because that's where you want to take your family once a year. And none of that's wrong. I want that stuff too. But we thought we were free. We thought we were free because we had our freedoms to, I have the freedom to say this. Yeah, great. Say something they don't like. I have the freedom to live here. Yeah, okay. Till they want to put something through that area. Till there's going to be a railway line or a road or a whatever, right? And then you realize, actually, the only freedom that I really need to harness and work on is here. And then when I bring this attitude to the outside, then I make choices that actually are about real freedom. real freedom. And that's where we are. We are in this amazing, amazing, beautiful time. Okay, and as difficult as it is, I promise, if you weren't meant to be here right now, you wouldn't be. You certainly wouldn't be listening to this channel. Okay, you would not be listening to this channel if you were not here at this time for the waking up of, we actually never had any power. Now's our time to actually create a world where we do. It starts with this, but it's a million things that we didn't realize. This is just a symbolism for the waking up and realizing we never had the power. Now it's time to have the power. So now we are going to create our own, right? So be excited about being part of the creation of the new world. No more are we there yet, because it gets created through us. It gets created through our choices. It gets created through how we speak at this time, how we feel about this time. It gets created when we remember our power and we make choices that are real freedom, right? Okay, how's everyone feeling? Any questions, any thoughts, anything you want me to speak on? Great to have you all here. Nicely said. So rather than are we there yet, change it to am I there yet? Yeah. Removes the needing of others and starts from within. Beautiful. Yep. Am I there yet? And what am I choosing today to create the there? Right? You would not drive past a plot of land that you bought and go, is the house there yet? Is the house there yet? Is the house there yet? No. You would put things in place to build the house. And then you would be excited about each stage. And as each stage gets built, you get more excited about your ability to live in the house. And you're exactly right. Am I there yet to live in that house? Because there's stuff I'm going to have to do, even once the house is ready and created and there, I'm still going to have to do stuff to be able to live in the house. Freedom Travel Alliance, yeah, Dolores Cahill, love her, beautiful woman, amazing powerhouse. Could you possibly be Australia's answer to Laurie Ladd? Oh, too much pressure. Feeling the words closing in on me, but I'm going to be okay vibes. Feeling the world's closing in on me, but I'm going to be okay. Let's look at the world closing in on us as in, I'm going to hone in on where I'm meant to look, right? I'm going to hone in. Okay. There's two ways the world closes in on us. A, we are too hyper vigilantly focused on one thing and we're not allowing bigger picture, right? Bigger picture. So if it feels like, oh shit, bigger picture, turn the news off. The news is hyper focused, hyper vigilant. The news is totally focused in on one thing as though nothing else exists. Turn it off, get outside. There's a whole world out there. Okay. The other way that you could feel like, if it feels like, well, the world's closing in on me, but what's in front of me feels quite important. Let's say I'm now in my home and what I'm looking at are my relationships here. Do I actually like where I live? Do I actually like the people I live with? That's a hyper focus that's powerful, right? Because that's actually almost like honing you in on where you do need to look. So they're kind of different. I hope that helps. Anxiety is, so you know you're in your ego when you feel anxiety. And the reason you're feeling it is because the ego needs to know what's going to happen, how we're going to get there, when is it going to happen, when are we out of lockdown, what does it mean, what will happen next year, can I go to whatever, right? It wants all the details. And it will only know you're safe by looking at the past to determine what the present means. We don't have a past for this besides Germany. And so it's going to feel a bit worst case scenario. So one way to move out of that anxiety is to be in the now and also to recognize that's my ego freaking out because it doesn't know what to do. But that's the most undeveloped part of my mind. I won't give my power to that. So I'll honor my anxiety and do things physically that lift that, the breathing, the moving, the getting out into nature. But then it's your responsibility to take over and to activate the parts of your mind that are willing to listen to bigger picture stuff, that are willing to be soothed, right? That are willing to feel into the truth of something. Some of you will watch this and hear me say, we will create the new, we are the drivers, and get really excited about that. Other people will hear that and go, oh my God, nah. Two things could be happening. One is that you're listening from ego, and ego's going, oh no, we can't do that. That's completely beyond us. That's, But if you're listening to it and you go, no, then you know it's not for you. So how you move beyond anxiety, firstly, recognize when it's your ego, when it's just that really frightened part of you going, oh my God, we're doomed. It's running around doing worst case scenario, screaming, the sky's falling, the sky's falling. If you can separate yourself from that and open your mind and open up energetically to what feels right for me, that anxiety will ease. You will still respect it, you'll still honor it, but it will ease. And you will move to what you need to know for your next steps. I hope that helps. Turn the TV off completely. 100% agree. I haven't watched anything in over a year. It feels great. It feels so good. Hey, good morning, Diana. So I was off here from Saturday morning, and same thing with here, because when you're on here, it's the C word and the this word from the perspective that you agree with, but you're still fed a ton of it. It's still constant, right? So for me, none of this really existed in the last 24 hours. Now, I'm very fortunate in that. Of course, I'm very fortunate in that, because I'm not one of those people that's imminently affected work-wise, and, and also, I don't follow any of the stuff. So, but for me, I realized too how much social media is also an aspect that you need breaks from, because otherwise you live in all of this so much. And when you live in it, wisdom can't talk to you. Wisdom cannot reach you and talk to you when you're so stuck in the problem, when you're so stuck in the small thinking of it, that you can't broaden. That is the other thing I did want to talk about today. Something that's really helped me in this time, it started last year. It started last year when all the people I normally would have turned to for guidance, for advice, people that I normally really resonated with and followed, were crazy, talking crazy stuff. And people that I had made up my mind about, like sealed shut, right? Totally like, oh my God, I would never listen to that person and follow to that person. They were the ones speaking sense to me. So one of the biggest lessons I received from that time that has really helped me navigate this time is I just go looking for the message and how it makes me feel. And I'm not too caught up in who's telling me it. So I don't need to go, oh my God, are they dark? Are they light? Oh my God, are they a shill? Are they not? Oh my God, are they like, part of the agenda? Are they? I don't care. I don't care. At the end of the day, only I need to know who I am. Only I need to know who I am. Everybody else, I really don't. I'm not going to get caught up in trying to figure out who they are. I'm going to feel into where wisdom comes from and take it where I can. Just take what it's almost like, you don't go to, even get your food and go, right, who touched this? What was their intention? What money did they make? Who was behind it? You don't do that. You just go, does this feel good for my body? Because you're going to find that that's part of discernment. Part of discernment, part of realizing you're not the 4-year-old in the back of the car asking for snacks on the way to Queensland. Part of realizing you're the driver. Okay, let's take that analogy a bit. The car needs fuel. How you move from here to there, you need fuel. And certain things give you fuel and certain things just flatten your tires. Mainstream media, no fuel. Exhausted, can't move. A lot of the stuff you'll be consuming, a lot of the 28,000 times you're hearing the same stuff, completely draining of your energy, completely zaps you. That is the very thing that makes you feel hopeless. What brings me fuel? Start asking that. If I am part of the building crew, if I have to get myself there, if I need to ask, am I there yet? Then what brings me fuel? Right? Start asking yourself that. TV off, the art of not giving a shit. Hey Amanda, being part of creating the new, developing community is the ultimate act of personal responsibility. Yep, I love that. And we are all here to be a key part of that community, right? Each one of us will bring something different. Each one of us will go, hey, I do that, I do that. And you're going to realize that you were never meant to work in the way that you have been working. You're going to realize that the very thing that you are, the stuff that brings you fuel, the stuff that lights you up, the stuff that brings you joy, the stuff you're naturally really good at, is the very thing that's needed in the community by the community, but is also the very thing that's needed in the wider aspect of the world. And you will just be you. And life will work that way. This isn't some hippy dippy pie in the sky shit. I promise you, I'm already living this. So I promise you it's doable. And I didn't just like slide into this going, oh yeah, that's really easy. I spent 19 years stuck in nursing thinking, how the hell am I going to get out? I spent 19 years in nursing going, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? So I do know that there's a big part of us that goes, okay, that's not possible for me. I promise you it is. I never connected ego and anxiety makes sense. Yes. So it is ego, which we all have. Every one of us has it. It is the least developed part of our minds, but it is also vital for this current experience. It's what allows the matrix to work. It's what allows the illusion to work. So what the ego does is, when you sit in your house and you watch the TV and you feel all the stuff with the movie, right? The movie's scary, you feel scared. The movie is sad, you cry. You are crying. You close a book where you really love the characters and you miss them. You watch a soap opera for years and years and years on end and you miss the people that were never real. But you experienced it as though it was real. That is what the ego does for you here, because none of this is actually happening either. It's a movie. It's projected. It's projected intentionally. Okay, I'm not going to go too far into that because let's stay with, but ego is needed for this to work. When we give all our power to ego, we are the 4-year-old in the back of the car going, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And the government and the industries and wherever your belief on that matrix hierarchy goes are driving the car going, Neely, have another snack. Do you want another movie? Here, look at this nice building here. Let's sing a song. Okay, how many things can you see starting with A? Do not think for one moment that you are not living your life like this, even though you're an adult. Right? You are sitting in the back there going, as long as the snacks are good and the movies are good and I feel like I'm getting what I want, I don't mind who's driving. And what happened at the beginning of last year is universally the wheels fell off. And some people are still sitting in the car going, are we there yet? And other people are going, what are you even talking about? Because they're still sleeping. And other people are going, I don't know how to put the wheels on. And other people have put the wheels on and they're driving. And that's all you're seeing. They're just the different stages of it. Okay? Does that make sense? Yes, take a break from socials. Do it. Yes, we need to go out and create for sure. Naomi's laughing along going, yeah, that's the kind of shit she talks all the time. Oh, thank you, Deborah. Hey, Sue. I read up on the fuck off therapy techniques and it's hilarious. Okay. Hi, Marianne. All right. Any questions? If you've come in late and you're like, what is she talking about with the car and the snacks? Go back. I will, of course, save it. I'll do another Monday morning check-in if you want next week. Good. I'm glad it makes perfect sense. I do need to go, but a couple of minutes. Does anyone want to share, say anything, ask anything? How are you all feeling? Yeah, look, Monique, I love me a good analogy. I love me a good analogy. I think analogies are powerful. It is actually, analogy is how I receive stuff like that. I will just get I'll get like a whole analogy. But I also find that it's a powerful way to relay information that otherwise normally people might go just because the languaging doesn't suit. Whereas we all know the long car trip and the are we there? Okay, good. I'm glad you're feeling good. So it's Monday. What are we going to do this week? My son said he was going to get the jab. I can't stop crying. Okay, well, okay. So allow yourself to grieve what you think it means and then remind yourself that you don't know what it means. And Sue, that I've got stuff on here, that I have videos that I've done in the past about this very topic. I know you listen to them, but listen to them again, and you just might hear something in them that just helps you at this time. It's a big topic, I get it. I can only remind you again that you are here to drive your own car. You are not the driver of a communal bus for a group of souls. It is not your job. It is not your job. It is not your job. You are here to create the new, and for everybody that is coming along, they will do so voluntarily. If something is not voluntarily done, then it's not the right time for them to join us. It's not their right time. We don't know what lesson they are helping us to learn. At the end of the day, all right, let's move into our week knowing this. Fear makes me think I'm not driving the car, but I am driving the car. So this week, let's all, if you want to join. If it's not your thing, don't worry about it. This week, let's all call out fear when we see it, encounter it in ourselves, in others, without the labeling of the topic. So we've got fear of having this, fear of not having it, fear of getting the C, fear of it being a bioweapon, fear of camps, fear of whatever, right? We're all on different, but we're all feeling fear. And what if fear, we've all shared memes saying fear is the virus, fear is the real virus. And what if that's true? And what if our own drive, what if our own ability to get from the back and being a snack eating toddler to being a grown up, to being a grown soul, driving the car, what if our own ability is impaired every time we fear something? And the million ways that can show up. So this week, let's just call it out. Don't call it out to people. Just in your own mind. Fear. Fear. Even with your own thoughts. Fear. Just do that. Just do that and breathe. There's nothing else to do. Sue, just do that. Sue, just know at the moment you're feeling your own fear. You're not feeling... It is not a failure. It is not a failure. Because... you're on your own journey and you're making your own calls, and you will model sovereignty to the people around you and to your children when you respect their choices. We cannot build this sovereign world we all want to live in whilst tightly controlling each other's choices. We are not building a sovereignty by going, and here are the rules that you need to live by in this sovereign place. That's how we have been living. That's how we have been living. And that's why the way the world looks like has been controlled by those in power, by those with the money, by those who are, all the different things. So join me if you want to. Just fear and then just breathe. And then just breathe, because start to recognize, start to get rid of the details that come after. Just even if somebody's talking to you, someone rings you up and goes, oh my God, have you heard? Just go, just breathe and go, just in your mind, think fear. Fear. And let's not feed that this week. Can you imagine if everybody that's watching this right now, everyone that you have a conversation with that you feel like would join us, everyone that watches the replay, can you imagine if we all this week do not feed fear, not don't feel it, because that is something that fear is normal. Fear, it's a guidance. It's a guidance. We're going to feel it, but imagine if we didn't feed it. Imagine if we didn't feed it. Imagine the effect of that alone. And then think about how differently you'll walk through life not feeding that, and think of all the people that will see you, each one of us, and think about them being positively affected by the fact that we're not feeding the fear anymore. Think of how powerful it is when we're watching a movie that we don't like and it's making us feel a certain way, and you get up and you turn it off and you go, oh, that was awful. And you go and you move and you go and have a cup of tea and you focus somewhere else and you start to make yourself feel better. That movie no longer exists for you. And when enough of us do that with The Matrix, the whole thing falls apart. All right. Much love to all of you. Much love to all of you. Have a good week. We'll be here again 9 a.m. next Monday if you like. And I will do a call out during the week for let's figure out how to do this medical shift. Let's figure out some things. All right. Love to you all. Have a good day. No more feeding the fear.